Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk, I thought that escaping the locked room was safe, but everything had only just begun. For the rest of the day, I could not concentrate on anything. The image of the cracked doll, the scratches on the wall, and the huddled figure in the dark corner kept appearing, like a movie on repeat. I tried to reassure myself that it was just a tired hallucination, but deep down, I knew that I had encountered something that did not belong to this world. The next night, when the clock pointed to 3 a.m., I woke up with a start. The sound returned. It was not the sound of rain, not the sound of wind. It was the sound of footsteps, slow and steady, echoing right in the second-floor hallway. I held my breath and listened, each sound seeming to sink me into paralysis. Then the footsteps stopped. In front of my door, there was a deadly silence, and then someone knocked 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. I trembled, not daring to move. My whole body felt frozen. I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight to shine towards the door. There was no one, but as soon as the light reached me, I saw a hand imprinted on the wood, cold and wet, as if it had just been touched. I screamed and threw the phone on the bed. When I picked it up, the screen was off, and on the glass there was a trace of a slender finger, covered in dark brown stains. I panicked and walked down to the living room, turning on all the lights. But the bulbs flickered repeatedly, then went out, leaving the house in a dim light. And from the ceiling, a soft, singing voice echoed. A child's voice, humming an unfamiliar lullaby. It echoed as if it came from deep within the walls. I held my head, feeling like I was being pushed into a vivid nightmare. This was no longer just a paranormal story, but the truth I had to face. I rushed outside, but when I opened the main door, there was only endless darkness in front of me. There was no alley, no neighbors, no rain, no wind, only pitch darkness. I backed away, my heart pounding. This house had trapped me, like a trap with no way out. When I returned to the living room, I saw that the sofa had been pulled out of place. There were clear sitting marks on the surface of the sofa, but no one was there. I shivered, sat down on the floor, hugging my knees tightly. In my head, the old woman's whisper echoed again. Don't go back there again. But it was too late. I understood that the thing in the room had gone out, and it was circling me hour by hour. At that moment, the clock chimed 4 times. A cold wind swept across the room, causing the door leading to the second floor to swing open. I looked. In the darkness of the hallway, there was a small figure standing still. It didn't move, just looked at me. I shouted loudly, but the sound was stuck in my throat. When I blinked, the figure disappeared. Only the door on the second floor creaked slightly, as if inviting me. I knew I wouldn't be at peace. If I didn't face it, I would go crazy. I took the candle and the lighter, deciding to go up to the second floor. With each step, the wooden floor under my feet creaked, as if someone was laughing at my weakness. When I stood in front of the locked room, the lock was still intact. But what scared me was that the door was ajar, as if it had never been locked before. I pushed the door open with trembling hands. The flickering candlelight reflected into the dense darkness. Inside, the doll had disappeared. On the wall, the scratches seemed to have been newly carved, still wet, oozing red liquid. And from deep in the corner of the room, a childish voice rang out, "We will play together, forever." I collapsed, feeling like the whole world was spinning. I understood that I had just entered a deadly game from which I could not escape. To be continued in episode 4.